I started probably because I accidentally started on like the 31st. I was just like, it was like one night I was like, all right, I'm just gonna start working on this like website. And I was like, and I'm not gonna go to bed till 2 in the morning. And that was like my decision. I was like, I told my girl, I was like, I'm not going to bed till 2 in the morning. And I wasn't able to like really freaking get into it until like 8:30. And I started at like 7:30. But like right as 8:30 hit, like flow hit me. And I was like able to just like move through like my work and like the creative process just like you know what happens like when you achieve flow and you just like everything like works. Everything just starts like piecing together. And I was like really high off this flow basically all the way till 2 in the morning, and then I was like, I gotta go to bed. Like this is crazy. And so like I had gotten like super depressed a while ago, and I was just like, because I had this feeling like to build another website, but I didn't want to. I was like, first one flopped, second one flopped. Like I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again. And like I just kept having this feeling. It was like, just do one more, just do one more. And I'm like, nah, like I don't want to do it. And finally I was like, all right, I'll do this. Like I'll fucking do this, but I need some sort of inspiration. And I got that quote from JP Morgan. Did I send it to you?
I think so.
And it's like, millionaires don't use astrologers, billionaires do. And I was like, what the fuck does this mean? Like, how is it supposed to help me? But it intrigued me because JP Morgan, like, at the peak of his career, was perceived to have around $80 billion, which is a lot of fucking money. And that's like, anybody who makes over $1 billion is my hero. Like, I don't care what you do. Like, you make over $1 billion, you're my hero. And so
Yeah.
I was like, if he uses astrology to make over $80 billion, like there's got to be some sort of like correlation. And so at first I started looking into like my zodiac signs or whatever, and then my Chinese zodiac signs, and some things were like a little funny to me because like my Chinese zodiac sign comes with two lucky numbers, and it's 2 and 3, and I thought that was interesting because I use those like all the time. And they're a part of like one of my big goals, which is crazy. Like one of the big goals that I set like 3 or 4 years ago, um, 2 and 3 is in the date, and I was like, that's fucking wild. But I started looking at because I stumbled across this article from NASA, and it talks about the moon and how it glows brighter than glows brighter than the sun in gamma rays. And I was like, gamma? I've heard of that before. Gamma rays. Why does gamma like frequency? Because it was talking about gamma frequencies, how it just radiates gamma frequencies, and it doesn't collect it from our sun. So our sun actually doesn't collect gamma or like really send out that much gamma. So gamma rays, so the moon is known as our like natural satellite, Earth's natural satellite, because of the gamma frequency that it blasts at the Earth. And I was like, gamma, like what's gamma? And I started looking it up, and it's the highest frequency that the brain, because like there's the different levels of like brainwave activity. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Here, I'll pull this up. Um, so there's like different frequencies that the brain like operates at, and the lowest one is when you're in deep sleep, and that's delta. Um, that's like when it's you're like deep, deep. That's not even like dream state. Um, and I was like, that's interesting. Like that's the like healing part where you're just like your body's just repairing. And then like above that is theta. And that's when you're like dream state, but you could be awake. You could be like just kind of waking up. And then there's like alpha brainwave frequency, and that's where you're like relaxed and reflection, and that's when you're like waking up. And then there's beta brainwave state, which is where you're like problem solving or you're like figuring stuff out. You're like, oh, I'm gonna wear this, I'm gonna do this, or like, I need to do this for the day. That's where you're like kind of figuring things out or whatever. Um, Maybe even like could be working out, could be anything. That's like beta, and you kind of like go back and forth between alpha and beta throughout the day. And then there's gamma, which is like spiritual awakeness. Like that's where you're like heightened activity. That's where like you're getting hit. Like you're just like everything's just working. Like like you're working really fucking hard. Some levels of like super intense activity, like physical activity, gets you into gamma. And I thought that was interesting that the moon blasts gamma at us. And I was like a shit ton of gamma. And you can look at these pictures of the moon and they measure the gamma coming off of it. And it's like insane, dude. It's nightmarish. Like it's crazy. And I was like, that's interesting. So like the further I looked into it, when I saw that, I was like, wait, gamma and the moon releases gamma. Let's look at moon rise and moon set. That night that I was working, moon rise happened at 8 p.m. and I got into flow at 8:30. I started work at 7:30 and I wasn't able to get into flow until 8:30. And I was like, that's fucking weird. And that's when the moon rise happened to where I'm at. And the peak time was like somewhere in like the middle of the night. But I thought about it and I was like, what if I scheduled my work time according to the moon? Because like that's heightened like essentially like spiritual awakeness. Because when you think of flow, it's not really you. It's like something moving through you. It's like something coming in and moving through. Like when you're making music, dude, and you're like everything's just coming together, there's this muse that like comes through you. And so I was like, let's just schedule my work according to like moonrise and moonset. So in that time. So the following day I did the same shit. But like moonrise moves forward by like 30 to like 50 minutes, depending on where you're at, where you live. And so like it was a little bit further. It was like 9 p.m. or whatever. And I was like, I don't give a shit. Like I'll work till 2 a.m. again. And it happened again. I got into flow like that. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And I was like, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I can like work outside of this, like moonrise, moonset. And I fucking tried to like get some work done outside of it. Bro, it was a nightmare. I was just like squishing shit together, trying to make things work on this website. And it was looking like shit. And I was like, like, let's wait till the fucking muse. And so now I work only according to the muse. And every single time I do, it's like automatic flow. I told my dad and my brother about it on the 3rd. And I was like, you guys want to test this out with me? Like, test it out. And they're both like, yeah, I'm going to try it. My brother tried it. Moonrise the other night for him was at midnight. And he's like, what should I do? He's like, I like staying up late. I don't want to, because I was like, you could wake up early and catch the ass end of it and catch like moonset. And he was like, no, I'm just going to stay up. I'll probably stay up till like 3. Dude, that motherfucker poloed me at like 8 in the morning the next day. And he's like, I pulled an all-nighter. I've been working on this game all fucking night. And I was like, bro, I was like, go to bed. And he's like, no, dude, it's working so well. And so I was like, damn. And like, I caught the muse in the morning that day. So I was like, that's what I call it, catching the muse now. Because it's like getting into flow. And so I was able to work till like 1 p.m. Today, the muse is out for me until, I think, 2 something. So I have quite a bit of time. But like right now, the moon's up, like heightened activity. And there's something else that I thought about as well, is the moon controls the tides, like the ocean. I don't know if you know about that, but the earth is not like a sphere. It's like an oval. And wherever the moon is, it pulls the oceans in that direction. So like high tide is when the moon's above us, and then low tide is like when the moon's not, and it's like set. So that's why the water moves down. And then when the moon comes up, that's when the tide moves up, because it's a gravitational pull. Bro, what percentage of our body is made up of water?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Here, we'll just fact check this. Just a little bit. Percentage.
Like, I don't know, 70, late 70s, 80? Is that it?
60% of the body is water.
Oh, that's
Just
awesome.
over 60%. Over 60% of your body is water. And if you know that the moon controls the ocean, then the moon should control or at least have an effect on the water in your body. And if over 60% of your body is water, and it's pulling it up, just biologically speaking, not even talking about gamma or getting into that,
Floating.
it's creating an easier access of blood flow to the brain, dude. So if you think about it, like, it gives you an easier time to think, because it's pulling water up, just like it pulls the tides up to where you're at.
That's a nice scientific way to think of it.
Yeah, and so I was like, that's probably, like, either way you look at it, gamma or water, like, either way, gravitational pull, you're getting 2 different advantages when it comes to work. So I was like, bro, I'm scheduling all of my work time around the moonrise, moonset. That's what I've been doing, and I've been able to get into flow every single time, bro. And
Well,
it's
if you look
sexy.
at it, I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, anyone, because you got, your early birds, who their best time to work is right in the morning, right after they wake up. And you got your
Hmm.
night owls. The best time for them to work is late at night when everyone goes to sleep. I always thought it was correlating to less distractions.
Hmm.
At least for me personally, depending on whether I'm working days or nights, it's just um, a lot less distractions at either
Yeah.
before people wake up or after they go to sleep. And I'm sure it has something to do with it. But I still have yet to try it out. It's just been a crazy week, and I
Yeah.
definitely need to hit it. In the morning for me is gonna work. So,
Well,
because my
this is the crazy
creativity, man.
thing. Yeah, the crazy thing is the moonrise and moonset changes every day. So it's like an 11 to 12 hour period of moonrise, moonset where you have this like crescent where the time of like the moon is coming over the horizon, right? And it shifts forward time wise by 30 minutes every day. So like where say it's like 12 p.m. tonight where the moonrise is happening, tomorrow it'll be 12:30. And the next day it'll be 1 a.m. And the next day after that it'll be 1:30. And it just continually shifts forward. And so it's going to change. So like right now, for me, let's see, I just pulled it up, make sure it knows where I'm at, it knows I'm in Honolulu. So like today the 8th, yeah it is.
Yeah.
Moonrise was at 2:40 a.m. Where yesterday moonrise was at 1:51 a.m. And moonset today is 3:16 p.m. And so like I have okay, it looks like I have till 3. So for me I found that there's a buffer period. So like an hour after moonrise, it takes me like an hour after moonrise for like the actual feeling of it to hit, where it's like flow and I'm like I can just focus. And then an hour before, I've tried working all the way through. So like today, I'll try to work till like 2:15, but I know after that 2:15 because it sets at 3:16, and I've discovered that there's a buffer period of like an hour before it sets is when it starts the flow starts to fade off, and like I can't get into flow anymore, and I'm like shit, and I'm just like mindlessly beating my head against something. And so tomorrow it'll set at 3:46, and the next day it'll set at 4:18. So it's basically going to get to a point in the next couple of weeks where the moon rises just and like it's just all day where you've got moon activity. And I'm like, shit, dude, this is going to be dope. Like work's going to be great. Things are just going to fucking happen for me. Just as so long as I like adhere to this. And then it'll go back where it's shifting where it's just like all night long, where like you could work all night if you wanted to. So that's just what I've been doing is just like scheduling everything around moonrise and moonset. But I use this website to track it as well as this app. But that's also another thing, like you said, is like no distractions. If you can get nighttime or morning time, because nobody's awake, like nobody can distract you from your shit. So long as you don't pick up your phone for too long, like and start scrolling and whatnot, because everybody, once you start getting those dopamine rushes, they can pull you away from everything. So.
Yeah, that's a huge thing though. It's just even if early morning or late night, you think you would avoid the distractions. It's just our phones are evil.
Yeah,
I
dude.
mean, you make you make it evil or good. I mean, it could be definitely a good tool if you make it that, but you have to make it that. I would suggest getting rid of social media if you can. But if you're in the business of social media, I mean that's what makes it difficult. But
Yeah. Well, dude, check this out. This may fuck you up a little bit.
okay,
The story of Adam and Eve, and let's just talk about the generalized story that's taught across like most religions. Okay, check this out. And I know like in the church that we grew up in, they just call it like the fruit or whatever. But let's just look across like the entire story of it. Um, what
sure,
did Eve bite into? What did she bite into? She bit into the apple,
sure,
and that's how it's been portrayed across like all of the stories. Is like the story of Adam and Eve is they were in the Garden of Eden. They were like with like God or whatever and they were able to like commune with God like easily. And she bit into the apple, and then what did she do? She got Adam to bite into the apple.
You're
This is what's
going.
fucking crazy.
This isn't saying apples are bad, is it?
No, 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 no.
I got an
And what
apple
happened when
right over
what did
here.
the apple contain though? What did the apple contain?
The knowledge of good
All
and
of the
evil. I don't know.
all of the knowledge of good and evil, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And then what did it do? It removed them from the garden. So
Yeah.
because they bit into the apple, it removed them from the garden. Check this out. What's the logo on the back of everybody's phone? An apple with a bite out of it. And what happens when we hold it in the mudra? This is a Buddhist mudra. This one. Okay? You hold it at the heart. Okay? What do? We pray to our phone with an apple bit into it. We bow our heads to it and we hold our hands in a sacred like as we hold it. And every time we bite into that apple, what does it contain? All of the knowledge of good and evil, or what's perceived as good and evil. It tells us what's good and evil, right? When you're
Sure.
biting into that apple, it's like, this is what's good, this is what's evil. And what does it do? It removes you from the garden around you, from everybody around you, from nature. Because like when you spend too much time on your phone, you feel like a piece of shit. But when you spend enough time outside and around people, you feel fucking great. And that's the thing, is we keep fucking biting out of this apple. And the more we bite out of this apple, the more we're removed. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And I'm like, holy shit, these things are just like
It's cool.
transmuted
Cool
through
idea.
time.
Yeah. I'm gonna start calling
Fucking
my phone the forbidden fruit.
dude, right? It totally is.
Yeah.
And I think that that was kind of planned though. Like to use an apple with a bite out of it. I'm like, why? Like they could have used anything. Could have been anything. But they used an apple with a bite out of it. And what do we do?
Conspiracy theories. Here we come.
What?
Does the Illuminati have something to do with this?
Nah, fuck that.
Just
I
kidding.
don't I don't I don't pay too much attention about to that shit. I mean,
Me
whoever,
neither. I'm just
maybe. I do have a lot of
Illumin
friends that are into that.
conspiracy
But
theories. I'm just
I just think that nature likes to repeat itself and teach us the same exact lessons.
absolutely.
And when we pay attention to those nature's like hints, we can see it. Like, we're like, oh, I keep biting out of that apple and I'm fucking depressed. Like you spend too much time on your phone, you feel like a piece of shit. Because you're biting into that apple and it's telling you what's right and what's wrong. It's like these people are right, these people are wrong. This is right, this is wrong. And you feel naked. You feel like you're not good enough when you see everybody's shit on social media. You're like, I'm naked of experience. I don't have all of that. But when you're out doing stuff and not biting into that phone, you don't feel like a piece of shit. You feel alive. And you can feel one with God. I guarantee you don't feel one with God when you're looking at your phone.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
Well, it's like
Uh,
the whole idea of disassociation is. I mean, we could. There's hundreds of examples of just, whether you're, watching something or listening to something, or it takes your attention to where you're disassociated from whatever's going on around you, which causes a lot of dangers. But in a psychological and intellectual level, it's just our social medias and things on the phone, they're just taking us from what's really important, from the interactions that we need, from the relationships that we need, from even the sun that we need. They're
bro,
just removing us from everything that's good for us.
I have a
It's
thing about
horrible.
the sun. It's actually pretty crazy. This is all factual, so this will be fun. Um, so we understand the three like happiness hormones, right? So we've got dopamine, which is our pleasure center, right? And then we have serotonin, which regulates our happiness and sense of well-being. And then oxytocin, which is love, trust, and social bonding.
Sure.
So like when you feel love, or like when you get a hug from somebody you love, what's released in the body is oxytocin, right? Like when your family's like supporting you, whatever, your friends are like, hey, supporting you, get that feeling of like oxytocin, or like, and then the serotonin is the happiness we talked about. I just said that, happiness and well-being. So like your sense of like well-being comes from your serotonin levels. Bro, oxytocin is also what increases our pain threshold. So the more love you feel, the more pain you're willing to withstand. Isn't that fucking crazy?
It makes sense.
Right? So which I thought was wild. So when I studied horticulture, there's different wavelengths of light that you put onto a plant to make it do certain things. So if you want a plant to utilize nitrogen and grow up and not flower, just go into vegetative state and like get bigger, you put blue light over it. And if you want it to flower and give you fruit, you give it more red light. Okay, and these things induce specific things also in the human eye, which is wild as fuck. So, do you know how your body produces melatonin to sleep?
I have an idea, but not fully
So
no.
when you go outside, your your eyes are what produce serotonin because the light hits your eyes and it produces serotonin, gives you happiness and a sense of well-being. That's why people who don't, that's why like people in Washington, like the highest suicide rate is in Washington because there's no fucking sunshine. So if you go outside enough, you feel happier. You feel a lot happier, not just because of the vitamin D, but because your eyes are producing serotonin. It's the happiness sense of well-being. That's why you want to get 15 minutes of at least like some sort of sunlight. Even if there's cloud coverage, you can get that serotonin. You just have to go outside. So check this out. When your body gets hit with sunlight, it produces melanin in the skin, right? You get sunburned, whatever, but it actually just increases melanin production. So you get melanin in the skin. Your body takes serotonin and melanin and produces melatonin so you can sleep at night. So if you get your sunlight, you get better sleep.
Yeah.
So here's the trick though. Red light stimulates melatonin production. Blue light stimulates serotonin and dopamine production and inhibits melatonin production. So that's why at night you want to filter blue light and only have like red light hitting you so you can actually produce melatonin and pass out. That's why they got the blue light filter on the phone or the blue light
Yeah.
glasses.
Yep.
So your body can produce melatonin. But if you're trying to increase your dopamine and increase your serotonin, you get blue light, so you go outside. This is all wild shit, but
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Science. I mean, I know the whole science behind like um, just one of the huge deals about improving your even overall health and happiness and such. It's just making sure you get your sunlight not only
Mhm.
in the day but early in the day. Essentially, right after you wake up, getting that sunlight. It sets your clock and it just uh, all sorts of good things for you. But yeah, that's cool things. Science.
science is wild. Science is super wild. A lot of this like stuff I learned when I was just growing like plants and whatnot, just because like horticulture is one of the coolest things in the world. Like you'll learn about how life actually moves and how it like breathes, which is wild, like really fucking crazy. A lot of people don't know these things, and like you said, like early morning sunlight, dude, it's like an instant dopamine hit and an instant serotonin hit. You immediately feel a sense of well-being because you're getting serotonin. You're like, I feel okay. I feel healthy. So if you're incredibly depressed, if you're like really sad, the best thing you can do for yourself, not just work out or start taking care of yourself, just get outside. Get off your phone, stop biting into that fucking apple. Get outside and look at some
Well,
sunlight.
it's so tempting. It's just like, where are our alarms? They're
Yeah.
on our phones. So we grab the phone, we shut off the alarm, and now what? We're on the phone. But, and here's the thing, it's just, if I was a counselor or therapist or whatever you call it, I would say I could give you a 30-minute, maybe even less, routine you do right after you wake up, and I guarantee you it'll make you a lot better. I mean,
Mhm.
just there's just so many things you could do just right off the bat. Simple things, you know, waking up, getting sunlight, drinking a lot of water. I would recommend a cold shower, um, getting good protein in you. I mean, there's just so many things, and you can do it all. Cardio right in the morning. I would just say there's so many things you could do right in the morning that just benefit your overall health and your happiness levels that you could do just within 30 minutes, 30 minutes of your day. Just start your day 30 minutes earlier and implement a few things, and I guarantee you'll be happier and better off from them.
Well, the cold showers, because you've been doing that, right?
Hmm.
Have you been super consistent?
Yeah, I haven't missed a day since I started doing it. They're not hard.
I'm
I
glad.
was reading an article on how it says they're addicting, but I'm just like, I feel it, but I don't, because I feel like it's a pain to jump in that cold shower. But at the same time, it's like I feel like it's like any other thing that's good for you. Working out.
Mhm.
I mean, how easy is it just to sit and miss it? I mean, it's not like it's an addiction, but it's the feeling you get afterwards that makes it that desire. So I guess it's the same way with the cold showers. Like I don't want to do the cold shower. I want what comes after it.
Yeah. Dude, and this is what's crazy. Check this out. Cocaine releases dopamine for like 5 to 20 minutes, right? Cold shower increases dopamine by 250%, and it stays at that level for 2 to 4 hours afterwards. So it sucks in the moment. The moment you get in
Yeah,
the cold shower, fuck. But then your dopamine is elevated beyond baseline by 250% for 2 to 4 hours.
yeah.
Like,
And that's the thing. It's not a long time in it. I mean, I'm reading a book right now, and it says even just 30 minutes or 30 seconds in the
mhm,
cold water, just the benefits from just 30 seconds. Like I feel like obviously, and it says in the book as well, you probably want to augment it a little bit. Probably around 2 minutes is your best bet, but it's not long. Suck it up for those
mhm.
2 minutes, and there's so many benefits. Like I'll wake up sometimes with like super sore muscles. Jump in the cold shower, I feel amazing afterwards.
Yeah,
I could probably just come up with a list of things off my head, top of my head. It's just you just feel great. It just sucks being here in the winter now,
yeah,
jumping in the cold shower, jumping out, and then going out and uh, in the cold. But it's still worth it. Definitely
yeah.
worth it. I recommend everyone to, if they can,
Yeah.
put that in your routine. It's an easy to wake you up to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's great for soreness just because it reduces inflammation like violently.
Well, not even soreness, like injury. Like
Hmm.
a lot of times, because I have injuries because I work out, but and it's just common thing. But like I'll wake up with a sore elbow or not a sore elbow, like an injured elbow, and it would be kind of stinging or something. Jump in that cold shower, jump out. It feels great. So
Because you
a
had
lot
that
of great
injury,
things.
you had that injury a couple weeks ago, didn't you? And I was like, try the cold shower, try the cold shower. And then you like apexed over that, and you were like, it's gone.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I guess like fastest way to get your dopamine, because I was doing that consistently. I would do my 15-minute walk in the morning, and do my breathing exercises, and I did this every day for months, and then my cold shower every morning for like 2 minutes to 5 minutes. Um, First, I'd say the first 2 or 3 times you do a cold shower, it sucks, and then after that, it's like I can't wait for my cold shower. Like, I can't wait! Like this is so
Your
exciting.
body, it does get a little easier,
Hmm.
but it's never like gonna be cake, I would say.
Dude, I'd say after 50 days of me doing it, I like it didn't bother me at all. I would just get in. And like that initial shock that you feel, you're like, okay, breathe. Like breathe, just breathe.
Yeah.
That went away after like 50 days. I'd like cold step in and I'm just like, yeah. Ah, let's get my day started. Like I was already excited to get out, not just to like get out of the cold. I was just excited to get my day started with the cold shower. And I'm like, I'd have to force because before you'd like force yourself to stay in for the 2 minutes because it's like it's healthy. But
Sure.
then it got to the point where it was like I couldn't wait to get in and I couldn't wait to get out just because I wanted to start with the dope. Like I already felt the dopamine. And I'm like, no, stay in. And I wasn't actually cold anymore. It was just like, I can't
Yeah,
wait
well, that's
to
one
do
thing I
it.
noticed is like when you're in pain, what are you thinking of? You're thinking of the pain, right? And you're
Mhm.
just like you can't really think of anything else. And so when I started cold showers, it's just like counting down the seconds, like I want to get out of this sucker. But
Mhm.
now it's just like my brain will wander. I'm not thinking about it, and so obviously I'm
Mhm.
not in as much pain because I've gotten used to it and such. But yeah, I don't know. Everyone should suck it up to a cold shower. It's good. It's good stuff.
After,
I'm
I'd
glad
say
I
after
did it.
100 days, because I did 200, I did a consistent 286 days, I think it was,
Damn.
until I like stopped. And that wasn't even like intentional. Like things just got crazy and like everything was just like, also the water wasn't cold anymore. It was just like hot. We live in Hawaii and it gets to a certain point where it's just like, why is the water warm? Like this isn't
You're
what I
gonna have to
wanted.
do baths
I know, ice baths or something. I want to do one of those again, but
Yeah,
Goggins
cold
chat.
showers are easy because you don't have to worry about getting ice or anything, and
Hmm.
you just turn the knob. No, don't turn it all the way. Don't turn it to warm.
Yeah, just
It's good.
turn it a little bit and let yourself suffer. Because that was the trick for a while. It's like, I remember after 100 days, like it felt like it wasn't getting cold enough for me, and so like I'd have to like get the right spot in the knob. I'm like, that's colder. There we go. And I'm like, it kind of feels a little warmer than the cold that I wanted. And so like, like, where's the cold cold? Like, where are you at? And it was like cold, but it wasn't like freezing cold. And I started getting frustrated because I'm like, I want the cold cold, man. Maybe I was just like super used to it or something, but like, I don't know. I just got to a point where I was like, this is too
Mm,
warm.
yeah. I
But that's
wonder if I
also
could, like when it's snowy outside, can I just go like outside
just lay there.
for 2 minutes, just sit down there? Is that the same effect?
I mean, if it's cold enough, yeah, technically, it's just that shock, that cold shock therapy. It increases the, which is funny, like cold therapy increases heat shock proteins. Oh, it's fucking weird. But did you know that the cold plunge? We talked about it in the previous episode a while ago. That it increases your HGH production, your human growth hormones. So it'll actually make you stronger, faster, better in all of your like physical realms. So increases testosterone and increases HGH production. So you don't get
Yeah,
swollen, but make sure you do it before training, or else that's the opposite effect.
yeah, we talked about that. It's important. Do it before. No, it's cool because yeah, there's a lot of benefits. A lot of benefits. Several benefits that help your body fat percentage. That's one of the biggest things is because it will increase your testosterone, which essentially helps your body fat percentage. And also, I mean, when you're cold, you're burning a lot. You're to keep warm, right? You're basically a human furnace. And
Mm-hmm.
so by starting your day off, jumping into that cold, jumping into your body, producing that energy, I mean, you're just going to be better off with the body fat percentage on several levels. So, a lot of good things.
Dude, TBH, I honestly think that because I that time that I cut down to 7% body fat, yes, I was on the carnivore diet, but I was doing cold showers every day, and I'm a firm like just anecdotally speaking, I don't know factually, I'm a firm believer that the cold showers is what helped me get down to 7%. Like I'm like really, really sure that it did. So I'm not 100%, but I like it just reduced inflammation. Like when you're bulking, like the one of the biggest problems with bulking is like there's a shit ton of inflammation. Granted, I wasn't eating any like crappy carbs, so I wasn't eating like pizza or whatever. But the cold showers were like reducing any sort of extra inflammation. So I was still having like sugary snacks every so often. So I'd like get my gummy bears or whatever every so often. But oh shit, speaking of which, oh my god,
What?
speaking of sugar, okay,
Gosh.
this goes against everything we've ever taught.
No, I
I
disagree with
saw the
it.
I know. I saw this
Why?
video yesterday. So this is what happened. So I've been doing a whole body split where I just work out the entire body every day. And I've been doing it for over a year and a half. Where I just train whole body every day that
Interesting.
I train. I know, it sounds crazy, but the way you structure it isn't what you think. So like typically when you do chest, you do like 4 or 5 different chest workouts, right? Or like three, you just pick a bunch of different chest workouts. Whole body
Sure.
split, you pick one workout for each muscle group.
How
So if
many
it's
sets?
chest, you do chest flies. And then you do, if you're doing biceps, you do one style. So if you're doing like normal grip and the next day you would do hammer or you would do reverse grip the next day. And so you only pick one exercise per muscle group
No, it makes
instead of like,
sense. And then you just
yeah,
mix it up. It just
yeah.
my struggle with that would be just making sure you get that pump
Hmm.
because that's what's important. So
So you wouldn't see, it feels like it's super important. You do sacrifice the pump. You
oh,
do with
I
the
don't
whole
want it.
body training. I know, because you're like really experiencing the pump now. I've actually switched back to a split as of yesterday. So I switched back to a normal split. Um, just because I miss the fucking pump, dude.
No,
I
I
miss
like when I lived in Brazil for every day for 2 years. I did the full body every day, but I feel like when it comes to hypertrophy, I feel like it wouldn't be the best.
yeah. I get what you mean, and I agree. I definitely agree.
But for
Full
overall
body.
health, I see it being fine. Yeah,
Oh, dude, my cardiovascular health was through the fucking roof.
sure.
Like, I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
it was great. So I switched back to a normal split. Yesterday was leg day. Since it was going to be my first day back on a normal split, I want to start with leg day because it's the most fucking important thing for testosterone production. But I watched this video yesterday. I can't remember who it was. Um, he's pretty popular in the fitness industry. I can't remember his name. I've been following him for like probably 8 years, maybe. And he was like, eat sugar intra workout, and he was dumping Skittles into his mouth. And I
Oh,
was like,
I've
what the
seen stuff
fuck?
on that. Yeah.
And I like thought about it, and I was like, I'm gonna
Simple
bring a
carbs.
pack. Yeah, I'm gonna bring a pack of fruit snacks. So I had a little packet of fruit snacks, little one, just like a single pouch that you get, you know. And I was like, I'm gonna bring it for my leg day, dude. Because he's like, you get the craziest pump of your life if you throw some sugar in, like intra workout. And I was like, we'll fucking see. So I brought it. I started doing my squats because for my legs, I do my 100 reps of my squats, and then I do 100 reps of double squats, which suck ass, dude. But those are the worst fucking things in the world. They hurt so much. You go all the way down ass to grass, and then you go halfway up, and then back down, and then you go all the way up. So it's like down, halfway up, down, all the way up, and it is
It's
fucking brutal.
what's the word? It's what I've been doing. It's the whole concept of
I'm under tension.
that, but there's a specific word I'm looking for. It's like with the flies, what I was talking about, because you do little, and it's because the muscle basically grows the best in the stretched position.
Mhm.
What's the word I'm looking for? It's not pump, but it's like the pumping. I don't know. I can't think of it. It'll come
I
to
just
me.
think of time under tension. Like the more time that your muscle spends under tension, the more it's going to grow.
Yeah.
And so double squats are great for growing my leg strength. That's why I do them. So I'll do my normal squats. I'll do 100 reps. I got up to my 3 plates and I was struggling on my normal squat. So I was supposed to do 100 reps. I started with like just the bar, did my single plate, second plate, got to my third plate, and I was struggling. Like I could only get sets of like 9. I wasn't able to hit my like sets of 15. And I was like, fuck, man. And it got down to where I was only doing sets of 7, and I was like, let's go get that sugar real quick. And so I grabbed my like fruit snack pouch, and I was like, this is against everything I've ever taught. Like, let's try this. And I like ate half of it, gave myself a full 3 minutes to recover all of my ATP, right? And then I like went into it and I blasted a set of 15, and I was like, this is a problem. Like, this is interesting. And I only ate half of them, so it was like maybe 4 or 5 fruit snacks that I ate. I think it was like 4 total, and there was like another like 4 or 5 in the pouch. And so I like continued, did my double squats. I was able to get through my double squats, and then I had to do leg extensions after that. I start with calf raises. I do 80 calf raises, then squats, double squats, and then leg extensions. This is what I'm just starting with for my like since I'm doing a normal split again, and I have to do 100 leg extension reps. And I was like dying after these double squats. I was like, how the hell am I gonna? I was like, should I eat the rest of these like? So I ate the rest of them, and I was able to blast through my leg extensions. I was like, shit, man! Like I might actually start doing this all the time. But we'll see. I know it's not good for inflammation. It's really bad for inflammation. But that's why you
Well,
get the big pump, though.
yeah, it's the whole idea. It's your body just absorbs those. I mean, the best time to do simple carbs is either during or after, right after your workout.
Hmm.
Your body just completely annihilates those simple carbs. I mean, and the side effects are not nearly as bad as if you were to eat them any other time. But
Hmm.
I don't know much into the science of it, but yeah, I've heard about it. Simple carbs.
It's
I mean,
weird.
there's been times like yeah where I'm either down on calories or something, so I'll bring something to the gym, and you just pop it in the middle of the workout, and it helps. It gives you a lot of energy.
Hmm. Well, because me and Jimmy used to do peanuts, honey roasted peanuts. It's like the sugar outside. We'd have like a Winco bag of peanuts that we would just like scarf down throughout our workouts. And we would work out for like 2.5 to 3 hours at a time every time we trained. And I look back at that, I'm like, how did we train for so long? Because I get like an hour, hour and a half, and I'm gassed, dude. I'm like super gassed. I'm thinking about it. I was like, maybe I need to get back into those honey roasted peanuts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually, now that we're talking about it, it's probably something I want to start implementing as well. It's just, especially when you're doing hypertrophy, if you are, or strength training, to completely, I mean, I guess I would say even endurance, if you're going all the way, let's just put it that way, on any of those focuses, I mean, you're burning a lot of stuff and a lot of energy's going out and you're going to be exhausted. And so to have that boost somewhere in the middle, um, I think that's a really good idea, especially while bulking, even while cutting. I mean, just have a little something,
Honestly,
something in
though,
there.
because it extends the workout, it gives you more like just glucose to work with.
Hmm.
I think about the peanuts thing now. Now that I think about it, they have fats in them. And protein and carbs only have 4 calories per gram, but fats have 9.
Yeah.
And we were eating those peanuts, blasting through those peanuts throughout the workout. So we were getting a good amount of fats, like available calories to use in the workout. So that's probably why we were able to hit like 2.5 hours to 3 hour workouts, like effortlessly. It's because of those damn peanuts. I'm gonna try that again. I'm gonna see what happens. Honey roasted though, because it's got that sugar outside, so it's like instant insulin, or what is it? Yeah, insulin. Oh, wow, say that 5 times. Instant insulin increase. Fuck.
Triple I. The testosterone, though, man.
What?
Peanuts. Said peanuts. They hurt my test.
See, there's so much mixed science on the peanuts, man. Because when you said that the other week, you're like, oh, I don't do peanut butter because of the testosterone. And I was like, so it looked, because I knew it was almonds, walnuts, and pistachios that adversely affect testosterone. But then there were ones like Brazilian nuts, tiger nuts, and I can't remember the other one that actually help increase testosterone.
Hmm.
But the almonds, walnuts, and pistachios had things in them that like high enough amount that it was actually a detriment.
Yeah, those are the worst. The
Yeah, and then
peanuts.
so
Yeah, I've looked into peanuts, and they do have some stuff.
they're so
It's not as bad. Yeah, there's mixed studies.
hard because they're like, oh, the zinc in it increases, but then the
That's the
sec-
problem, though, with every food item. You can argue it
yeah,
with every food item. Um, whether you're looking at testosterone, whether you're looking at, I don't know, any other hormone or effect it does to the body, like there's every food, it has things in it that will increase and have things in it that will decrease. So where you got to
yeah,
measure is how much. So
yeah.
it's kind of, I mean, yeah, but I guess peanuts are kind of in the middle, more towards the middle than almonds would be high. Um, I got some Brazilian nut butter. Did I tell you
Ooh,
about that?
no,
Um,
tell me about that.
so I got it all natural Brazilian nut butter because I'm avoiding peanut butter
Hmm.
because I wanted to, increase testosterone naturally. And when I got it, I was so excited. I rip open the box and I open the peanut butter and I take a spoon and I eat it. I'm like, that is the nastiest crap I've ever eaten in my
Really?
life. For one, it was 100% natural, so there was no sweetener or anything in it. Um, but yeah, it was pretty raunchy. But then I started baking with it, and it's okay
Okay.
if you bake with it. So you got to bake with it. Don't. So I wonder how Brazilian nuts. I mean, I imagine they taste just like the nut butter, but they're not the best.
Interesting.
They're not cheap either.
Really?
Yeah, not too bad, but they're not. Obviously, they're not common. When have the last time you seen a Brazilian nut? So I
No,
would. I don't know. There's probably
I don't
other
even know what they look
methods.
like. I don't know what they look like. I've never seen them.
Me neither. And I lived in Brazil for 2 years. They're called Brazilian nuts, but I have no idea. I wonder what they're called in Portuguese. Maybe I'll recognize it.
That's interesting. I know almond butter is fucking delicious, but it's so. I guess it's bad for you. I don't know factually. I don't want to
No,
factually be in trouble.
don't say bad for you. It's good for you. Bad for your testosterone.
Yeah, yeah, it's adverse on the test, but it's delicious. I know it's delicious. Almond butter is one of my like weaknesses, bro.
Well, I loved
Shit's
almond
good.
milk.
Dude, I drink almond milk every day. Every day. It's in my coffee actually right now.
Yeah, I love that's it really was unfortunate when I read the studies on almonds. It's just like, oh, dang
I
it.
don't know.
People look at me crazy too because I'm like, oh yeah, I don't eat peanuts or almonds because they lower your testosterone. They look at me like, what the? Because everyone knows peanuts and almonds are good for you, right?
Mhm.
So everyone always gives me the funny look, but I'm like, one of my main goals is my test. I'm sorry, it's not my overall health. It's just my
Mhm.
testosterone is number one right now.
It's testosterone. Yeah, dude. Going back to the normal split is nice. Just actually seeing, because so all of those pictures that I've been posting Instagram and whatnot for like the last little while, that's while I was doing whole body training, and like those pumps have been good, but like the pumps I'm about to get on just like a normal split, I'm so excited to blast those. Like my leg pump yesterday was brutal. I was like, this is what I want. This is what I miss. So I can't wait to hit like an upper body either today or tomorrow, like somewhere. I'll either do chest, back, we'll see, but I know it's gonna be slutty.
Yeah, I've been getting my shoulders are still absolutely sore from yesterday. It's just
Yeah.
I've been absolutely loving hypertrophy training. And there's so many things you could implement with every workout.
Mhm.
I mean, the key is the weight. You got to get the weight just right to where you could get good failure rep in. Because unfortunately, if you don't go too light of a weight, then you're going to exhaust your endurance before your strength. But yeah, I've been enjoying it so much. Like, first of all, you got to go to failure, right? And so until you literally can't move anymore, and that helps when you have. It's hard with free weights. It's better when you're on a cable machine because there's that constant tension.
Mhm.
So machines are obviously easier, and then explosive concentric movements I've been doing a lot of. I know there's a lot of different ideas on that, whether you should go slow or fast, but I found fast has been
Dude, try it
explosive.
slow. Just give it one go where
Well,
you're
I'll try it.
super
But what
slow.
I've been going off of is the whole time under tension, and concentric
Mhm.
isn't necessarily tension. And so that
The
was the whole study
concentric
that I'm
is
basing off of it. The tension
concentric
is
is
the
up.
eccentric when you're.
Eccentric is out. Contract, extend. So concentric is this one. So if I'm doing
Depends
a
on your
curl,
movement, I guess.
yeah, depends on the movement. So you're doing chest just now. So if I'm doing curl,
Sure.
concentric
Yeah.
is up,
Yeah.
contracting it, and then
Contraction.
eccentric is extending
Yeah, you could
it.
think of it contraction and
Yeah,
relaxation, I guess. Yeah.
contracting extension. So try the 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. 0 seconds isometric. So no hold. Just two up and then two down. Go. Dude, I'll curl with like just to be a dick, like 60 pounds just to feel cool. But when I actually want to get the sluttiest pump of my life, I'll grab like a 25 or like a 20 and I'll go super fucking slow and I'll do 20 reps of like with a 20 and I'll just do 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. And I get the sluttiest bicep pump of my life. Like the sluttiest bicep pump. Just try it, bro. You'll be mind
I'll
blown.
try it,
Okay.
but you try mine too. I'll
I've
show
done
you.
yours
I'll
for
show you.
years.
I have to send you the
No,
study
no.
I'm basing it off of.
No, I did that one for years. For like 5 years straight, I did explosive and then slow down because we called them negatives.
Sure.
Jed taught me way back when, way when I was like 19, I think. We were at the Y, and he taught me like go really explosive fast and then slow it down. And we would do 7 seconds eccentric. So you would explode, and then you'd go 7 seconds down, and that shit was fucking hard, man. Negative reps are brutal. Those things fucking suck.
I think the number one though is failure. Like I think what I'm
Failure.
learning is going to failure.
Well, I think time under tension because like when you explode a muscle, like when you're doing explosive muscle, like contraction, you're only using 15 to 20% of that muscle. And the longer you take to move that weight, the more the more muscle fibers the entire muscle group has to recruit to keep it stabilized and in the position that it's at. So if you slow things down, it has to recruit a lot more to keep it there. So if you go really quick, it's only like 15% of the muscles being activated. But then also when you're moving slow down, it's recruiting everything to stabilize that and bring it down. So either way, concentric or eccentric, somewhere in there, you've got to increase that time under tension. That mind-muscle connection. This is the biggest problem with dudes in the gym is they try to move really fast all the time. They're
Yeah.
like, I want to get big, so they just move really fucking quick, and they never fucking get there. That was my problem for years until I took my NASM course, and I just did the exact what it said, 202. I was like, fuck it, let's just try this. If this is hypertrophy, and because I took the NASM course, I didn't even listen to that. And then I was training at Axiom, and there was this dude who had his timer on his phone set out. And I was watching him work out. This dude was fucking huge. And I was like, what's with the timer, bro? And he's like, oh, I just actually got certified in NASM. And I was like, oh, shit, so did I. He's like, yeah, I'm just doing hypertrophy. And I was like, well, that's what I do. And he's like, no, like, I time everything. I was like actually time it? He's like, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck?
That's a lot of effort.
I know. Well, that's what I do now. I do it every set now. Every single set I time it. Like, if you see me in the gym, I have my phone up. People ask me every single day. They're like, what's with the timer, bro? And I'm like, I just train hypertrophy. And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, check this out.
Can you not count in your head?
Minute and a half. So I, like, time my rest. So the moment I stop, I press start. And it, like,
Okay.
to a minute and a half is when I start my next set, right? So, like, the moment I get to a minute and a half of rest, I'm like, all right, time to do my other set. And while I'm doing that set, I just count, like, the 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. And when I finish, I look down. And depending on the amount of reps that I do, say it's like 10 reps, whatever, it should be 40 extra seconds on the clock, right? So if I'm at a minute and a half and I start my next set, I should be ending this 10 reps at 2 minutes and, 20? No, yeah, wait, 20-ish? My tripping balls. 2 minutes 20, 210 to 220 is when I should be finishing that set. And if it's before that, say I finish it at like a minute 58, I went way too fucking fast. I'm like, shit, gotta slow down. So that's the way I just do things now. But, because even when I trained whole body, I trained hypertrophy, and I still got those slutty pumps.
Well, I used to time things a lot. I mean, I would time my rest every time. But what I've learned is just it's subjective to you as a person, and then to each workout is individualized, because I had a set amount of rest I would do, and then some workouts is like I'm over rested, and then some of them wasn't long enough, and so now I think there's a prime time. I mean, obviously you got to not get distracted in your rest time, or else you're going to go over, but I think there's a prime time you rest to where you can hit a good set again, but you're not over rested.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I remember is to not go over 5 minutes of rest.
Yeah, that's way too long.
Because for maximal strength training, you do 3 to 5 minutes of rest in between each, and it restores 100% of your ATP. But if you go beyond that, lactic acid starts setting in. And that's when you start really getting it's just cramping up and getting super fatigued. So for me, it's like, say I blast a couple of sets and I'm like gassed. And I'm like still training hypertrophy, but I'm like, wait, I need to restore some of my energy. Like when I was doing the squats yesterday, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go 5 minutes rest at this time. Because I got to I think 80 reps on my squats and I was fucking gassed. I was like, shit, man, I need to finish these squats out. But I was like, I'm gonna give myself 5 minutes rest and then I'll start again. So I gave myself the 5 minutes and then I hit again, and I was able to do the rest of my reps, the last 15, 20. I was like, all right, we're good. So as long as you don't go over 5, because once you go over 5, that lactic acid starts to really settle in.
Yeah, your body starts recovering already from your workout. You don't want that.
Yeah, it's like, time for protein. Where's my protein? Like,
then you give it another set. What are you doing?
Yeah. Because I've just followed the book when it comes to the way I've trained for the last 4 years, because I just switched back and forth between maximal strength and hypertrophy. That's what I've been doing for the last 4 years since I fucking took that damn thing. That was brutal, man. I actually just pulled out my paper the other day, because I still have the paper where it says pass. Like, I fucking still have that.
I just got I got 2 certificates because I took the non-proctored exam and the proctored, and so I just got both of them arrow recently.
Such a funny moment.
I still want to do the nutrition coach. I really want to do that one.
Yeah. I'd be mixed on that.
Get my money in order.
Yeah. I'd be so mixed on that, because I feel like a lot of it would, actually, I don't know. because like the personal training was really good. Like it was really, really good. You learn a lot of shit in there. Like you learn a ton in there. And just speaking from experience, the shit that I've been able to utilize from my NASM course over the last 4 years has 10x my physical growth and strength. Like, has monumentally moved me across. Like, it has just violently moved the needle when it comes to my growth.
Yeah.
And when it comes to nutrition, I'm like worried that it's very like Western medicine based. I'm like, well, what if it's like,
It probably
really,
is.
huh?
I said it probably is.
I know,
But I mean, I think with anything, I think even with the whole the NASM and all the good information it gives you, is just you gotta seek information from all sources,
Mhm.
and appreciate it for what it is, and grab your certificate. But at the same time,
Yeah.
learn from other sources and from your own experience. And so that's what I'm doing with nutrition. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny because I just finished up a book, How Not to Die, which is a thick book on nutrition and all every vegetable and fruit and grain out there. And now I'm jumping to a book, The 4 Hour Body. And it is just so much conflicting things when it comes to nutrition. I think nutrition is one of the biggest conflicting things out there. I mean, when it comes to working out and fitness, I think a lot of it is pretty agreeable. But nutrition is it's just like the idea of meat or no meat, the idea of whole grains or no whole grains, fruit or no fruit. That's just some examples from the 2 books I'm reading. Just the
Really?
conflicting ideas. It's insane.
I feel like one thing that should be consistent across the board is fruit. I feel like that's just like the most
You would
unarguable
think,
thing.
yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
The 4 Hour Body, at least when it comes to lowering your body fat, they say don't eat fruit.
What?
Yeah,
No fucking way.
it's insane. And so I guess with anything in life, that's what I'm saying, is just you got to look from all the sources. I mean, when you're looking at studies, you can't just rely on one. You got to pull in everything because you got biasm, you got personal experience and, sponsors. You got so many factors that are playing into each individual source. And so it's crazy. It's crazy. And so I'm really hoping to I want to do my research and find a carnivore diet book because I want to see it. I want to see the studies on someone, I guess, from that side of it because, I've seen the studies from the other sides.
Yeah, dude, oh my god, because I've done them all, man. I've done full vegan, I've done paleo, I've done carnivore, and I know the differences in energy wise, what you experience and like how it feels on the body. And like for me, there is downsides to the carnivore diet. So upsides is crazy cut. Like you get lean to shit, bro. Like you get so damn lean, no inflammation. Like literally none. There is no inflammation in the body. The other upside is you get all of your fats, your peptides, you get all of your aminos, everything's great. Your vitamins, everything's great. Downsides is because you lose all of your fat, you go down in weight, and so does your strength. So like when I moved from 220 body weight and I went down to 189 and I was just cut to the fucking bone, there was like, you remember those 4 weeks where I was trying to squat 4 plates again and I couldn't fucking do it? Bro, your strength is just not there, but your explosive energy is through the fucking roof. Like I could just explode. Because like think of a lion, like it's explosive energy after something, but it's like limited to a certain time. Like it's so different. Endurance wise, it was still great. Like I could run 4 miles, no problem. But like you had explosive like primal rage. But the only thing is strength wasn't all there. So like I couldn't push 400 pounds. And I was like, fuck man, like what's wrong?
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to strength and muscle gain, hypertrophy, you need your carbs.
You need your carbs. Yeah. It's tricky, man. So it's like it depends on what you want. Like if you want to be big, like you gotta have your carbs. But if you want to be cut to the bone, like carnivore diet's where it's at. Like you want to be 7% body fat or lower, carnivore diet will get you there so fucking fast. Like so fast. I was able to move from, let's say, like 11 to 12% body fat down to like 7 in a matter of like 2 months. It was brutal. Like when I went full carnivore, just because like inflammation just disappeared. You're just eating meat and like sometimes rice. And I did still eat fruit. That was like a thing that I never stopped eating. Like I've always eaten fruit. Just because I know that it's good for jump starting the metabolism, having that like natural sugar. It's like, and with the carnivore diet, it was fucking hard to eat 2 pounds of meat unless I ate fruit. If I didn't eat my fruit, I only got like a pound and a half.
Yeah, I don't know how I would do that. Because I'm thinking, how much meat am I actually eating a day? Maybe like, let's see. Like maybe I'm not maybe eating half a pound of meat a day right now.
Oh, really?
So that'd be insane. But I am wondering, like, maybe my next cut, I could try the carnivore diet. I also
Dude, do
hate
it.
preparing food, and so I feel like that would be easier. You just cook meat, it's not that hard.
You just cook meat. So what I would do is I just went to Costco and I would get the big thing of like 7 or 8 pounds of ground beef that was like 88%, 12% fat. And I would cook it all in one day and just meal preps like 7 days worth of that. And then I'd have my chicken for my lunch or like ahi for lunch, just like poke or whatever. And I just went 2 pounds of meat every fucking day and then like a protein shake. And it was brutal, bro. It's fast. It was really fast how quick you just burn that fat off. It's a problem because I'm supposed to be bulking right now. And like I kind of am, but I keep like going back to the carnivore for one day. Like I'll just eat like 2 pounds of beef and I'm like, we're good. And I'll like load up on carbs the next day and some meat. And then I like the following day I'm like, I feel fat, go back to the carnivore. So it's hard because like I don't want to lose my abs, dude.
I'm worried about your consistency.
Don't worry about my consistency. I'm always on season. I'm
I
never not stage ready.
I'm gonna look into studies on the carnivore before
Okay.
I even attempt it, because I want to see. One thing I would definitely be afraid of is, I mean, strength you're gonna lose regardless on a cut, but
Mhm.
I don't want to minimalize. That's probably be my cut. My biggest goal of my cut, not only losing body fat percentage, but minimalize muscle loss.
Mhm.
So I want to see what is the best method for that through my studies, because
I
I
would
have
just
some ideas, but yeah.
yeah, keep your carbs up. Like rice, brown rice and whatnot. I would keep your carbs up and your fruit up because that was my big mistake. Is like I went not mistake because I went carnivore diet, man, and it was crazy. Um, who's that kid? There's this kid that's been a consistent carnivore diet for like 6 years. Tristan Lee, the kid who's chiseled to the fucking bone. He's been chiseled since he was like 16. You know who I'm talking about, right?
I think so,
That
yeah.
kid's been on a carnivore diet ever since he was 16, and he hasn't gotten off of it. Like he just eats meat all day. That's it. He just eats meat, and for the last like I think 8 years, that's like all he's done. He hasn't gone off the carnivore diet. So he has, I think, a total of 3 grams of carbs a day. It's like
Hmm.
none. There's nothing there. And he's stayed at like what is he at? Probably like 6 or 5% body fat. Like there's gets chiseled to the fucking bone.
No, after reading the book I just read and all the studies it cites, is just I've learned. I have yet to see carnivore diet studies, so mind my opinion, but carbs are
Yeah.
essential. They're just like so many benefits from carbs. I mean, we're talking complex carbs.
Mhm.
So I would hate to cut those out unless I see really good benefits from it.
Yeah. Just look into it. There is a lot of science behind it. I know that
I'm
the
gonna look
book
into it.
you
I'm
read
excited to.
was biased. The book you read was biased. So they focused heavily on like the benefits of vegetables and fruits and whatnot. And
I
so
wouldn't say
there's
it's
a guy,
biased. It had potential to be biased, but
yeah.
it had a lot of studies. I can't
Mhm.
deny that. A lot of studies.
The
So
one thing carnivore diet wise, you don't fart. You don't get gas.
you have no fiber.
What?
I said you're not eating fiber. Are
Well,
you
no,
even
dude, like,
pooping?
yeah, you are. And so that's the thing is like my bowel movements were normal. I just didn't get gassy. And like that was one of the greatest things in the world is like with vegetables and like grains and whatnot, I get gassy, man. I feel like that's not normal. I'm like, I feel like this isn't how I'm supposed to be. So when I was on the carnivore diet, I was like, this feels good. Like I don't feel bloated. I don't feel like gassy. So I don't
What
know.
I learned from my book, or my bias book, I guess, is it's not the fiber that makes you gassy. You know, he addressed the whole beans make you fart deal. He says it's the sugars. The fiber helps process the sugars, and the sugars give you the gas. So that's what he said.
I feel like because well, also this is the thing is there's a lot of anti-nutrients in some vegetables. In quite a bit of vegetables, there's a lot of anti-nutrients. Did it talk about anti-nutrients in that book at all?
Is there another word for anti-nutrients?
What?
I feel like it would go by other things. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it does talk about a lot of different positive and negatives of certain things.
yeah, because anti-nutrients are a thing, and a lot of people negate that when they're looking at vegetables and whatnot. There's because vegetables will produce anti-nutrients, and they're basically to protect themselves from being eaten by predators. Um, what they do is they just bond to actual like vitamins and nutrients in the body, so that you don't actually absorb them; you just shit them out. So that's what I'd be curious about. It's like because that was something my brother was asking about because I was when I went vegan way back when he was like, "What about the anti-nutrients?" And I was like, "What?" And I looked it up and I was like, "Oh shit, this is a big thing. I gotta pay attention to this." And so I know oats have it in it, have anti-nutrients in them, but depending on how long you cook your oats, removes those. And
I
so
wonder what you mean by anti-nutrient, though. You're not talking about fiber?
no, no. So you've never heard of anti-nutrients, not once? Oh, shit. Okay,
I
this
don't
will be
think
fun.
anyone has.
No, a lot of
You're
people
more
have.
educated than we have.
No, this has been researched quite a bit. This has actually like been researched a lot. Anti-nutrients are a huge thing. My brother's been talking about this he's been keeping me updated on anti-nutrients for probably 6 years now. Whenever I'm like, oh, like what about this food? So, oh wow, yeah, there's a fuck ton. Yeah, there's a lot. So gluten obviously is like one of the biggest anti-nutrients out there.
Sure.
That's like one of the most common ones. Tannin, uh, food anti-nutrients. See, yeah, like phosphates, oxalates. I know oxalates. Carnivore MD, he's a doctor who's like strictly carnivore diet, who preaches the carnivore diet. He talks a lot about oxalates. That's one of his big things. Um, uh, let's see. Yeah, because is that an almond? What is that? A lot of beans.
Yeah,
Um,
he does mention that, like I said, are there any other names for this?
mhm.
He mentions the specific anti-nutrients rather than them as a whole, because he talks more
Right.
about specific foods and the components in them. So,
Yeah, because legumes, it's a protease inhibitor, and then spinach has a bunch of oxalates, raw eggs, avidin, grapefruit. Yeah, because anti-nutrients was something my brother kept pushing on me to like make sure I focused on and make sure because you can cook them out of foods, you can get them out, but it depends on how you prepare them. Because if you don't prepare them properly, you get all those anti-nutrients, and basically your body's not processing all like the vitamins and minerals and stuff that you need and like the proteins and whatnot. So that's why I like because meat does not have any anti-nutrients. There's none in meat, and that's the thing. It's like that's why I was like carnivore diet. Let's try this shit because like I wanted to experience a life without any anti-nutrients, number one. And that's like one of the biggest things. I was like, I eat a lot of all of this shit, gluten and whatnot, and I'm tired of the inflammation. So, like almonds, phytates, phosphorescent seeds, they bind to minerals and stop their absorption. Okay, serves as the main, so phytates in almonds serves as the main storage form of phosphorus in seeds. They bind to minerals and stop their absorption, but also have Wait, some health benefits. So almonds, beans, Brazil nuts, lentils, corn, peanuts, wheat, soybeans have phytates. Oxalates are in spinach, rhubarb, rice bran, buckwheat, almonds again. It's funny that almonds is like being repeated. Wheat, potatoes, and soybeans. And then lectins are in wheat, soybeans, red kidney beans, peanuts, tomatoes, potatoes, and chickpeas. High oxalate foods. Yeah, that's just something to like, I don't know, that I was like adamant about when I was going into the carnivore diet. As well. I was like, I want to try this and see if I can get rid of these because I was doing a lot of oatmeal every day, and my brother's like, "What about the anti-nutrients in oatmeal?" And I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You need to look this up." For somebody that knows a lot about fitness, I was like, "Shut up." So I looked it up. I was like, "Oh fuck." And so that's why I switched from instant oatmeal to whole rolled oats. Whole rolled oats, because I guess the extended time that you cook whole roll, holy shit, man. Whole rolled oats gets rid of a lot of the anti-nutrients in it. Because like 1 minute oats, you're just eating it for a minute and then you're eating it. But like whole rolled oats,
Yeah.
damn, whole rolled oats. You gotta cook for like 5 minutes to get them actually like softened up and whatnot. And apparently that like helps, but I don't know. I still eat oatmeal every day. Every damn day.
I ate almost a whole cup of oats a day.
You did like 2.5 the other day. You're a fucking monster. Oh wait, no, you cooked them in your breads or your loaves.
My whatever you call them, my cakes.
Do they taste good?
Yeah, dude. You haven't? I sent you the recipe. You didn't try.
You did, but I haven't cooked it yet. I'm just like really.
Well,
iffy
you
on,
aren't,
like,
dude. What you aren't doing peanut butter? You should make a peanut butter one. I mean, you are doing peanut butter.
yeah, I should do
Dude,
peanut
throw
butter. I should-
throw peanut butter in one of those, dude. It's just like it's like a peanut butter cake.
I'm gonna try it.
Like banana.
Okay.
That's like the oats, banana, oats, egg.
Your honey,
Is that it? Oh yeah, and honey.
honey,
Banana bread.
and then
Like super healthy.
bacon. Yeah,
Yeah, so there's a little bit of salt, like a tad of salt, a tad of baking powder.
Mhm.
But
Which is
that's
fine.
it. Yeah.
yeah, that's fine.
And then yeah, it's super simple, super healthy. I've been enjoying it. But now my book that I'm reading currently is like, don't eat whole grains. It's like
Oh
I'm
God,
bulking.
I'm bulking. Don't tell me what to do.
Maybe on my cut. Yeah.
All right, let's
right.
go over goals. I don't think I've looked at this thing in a couple of days.
Shouldn't you be doing your goals daily?
I know I'm meeting them. I'm doing my shit. What day is it?
8th.
The 8th.
Let me.
I haven't been looking at this. Okay, I definitely did that. Yeah, yesterday. Wait, what's today? The 7th? 8th?
8th. I said
Yeah.
that.
Son of a pickle. I've done my creatine every day. 200 didn't hit. I did my gym. I stretched that day. I definitely read.
Debating whether I want to change.
Try.
'Cause for my physical, I got my cold shower, my yoga.
Hella gym session. 200 grams. Creatine for sure.
But like we talked about, my cold shower it's a habit right now, so I don't really need to make a goal out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, today is... Okay, I've done mine. 10 minutes. I definitely read. Did I write? I didn't write. 10 minutes active. 200 grams creatine. No. Gratitude. No. 3 lives? No, I have no 3 lives. I've missed 200 grams of protein one day, and I've missed my visualizations one day. I want to get better at my visualizations. I was really good at that for a while. But everything else I'm pretty good. Creatine I'll just never stop taking. I've been taking creatine for fucking 8 years. I'll never stop taking creatine.
You need to if it's a habit, you need to make it. You gotta change it.
It's not a habit, it's a fucking addiction. Like, where's my creatine?
All right, I'm changing my cold shower to hypertrophy training every day.
Hypertrophy every day?
Uh,
What about your rest days, bro?
except for my rest day.
Okay. You can still do hypertrophy. Do some hypertrophy on the abs, just 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down instead of 20, just for funsies.
Well, so I was
That'd be
like, can I
interesting.
can I hypertrophy on my yoga? I do yoga every day.
Let's see. Let's see if there's any I want to change.
Reading or writing for my intellectual, I won't. I don't think I'll keep those.
I'm gonna keep those, yeah. 2 grams of protein. I feel like I need to change that. Gym or active? Gratitude, express gratitude. My impact, I feel like, is easy. It's too easy. I need to make it challenging. Oh, yeah. I do need to change this. Let's edit this one. Express gratitude to nature. I'm gonna switch my impact from the one where I express gratitude to one person a day. I've done that consistently for like over a year. Um, and I feel like that's something I'm never gonna stop doing. So I'm gonna change it to express gratitude for 10 minutes a day to nature. That's something I'm not doing that I was doing before. Because I used to do my gratitude walks for like months where I would literally just go on like a 10-minute walk and be like, thank you for the sky, like thank you for the like grass that allows me to breathe, the plants that like breathe for me, and I need to do that more. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna switch to express gratitude to nature for 10 minutes a day. So swap that one out. Because that generally makes me a lot happier because when I was doing that, I felt pretty fucking invincible and really good. So I'm gonna switch to that one for my express gratitude to one plus person. And then the 3 lives a day. I guess I'll keep that. It just keeps me consistent. Gym, 10 minutes active. I'm gonna edit this. Just add in stretch. My gym active. Sometimes I'm like, I feel like I can't count my stretching time, my yoga, whatnot, but it can. But because it doesn't say stretching, I'm like, does it count? It does count. Did you switch anything, or are you keeping everything?
I added hypertrophy
Okay.
training there, and I'm debating if I want to change anything else. I think looking over, I think I'll keep it here for
Yeah.
now. I mean, I was debating this. I went through a spiritual awakening, but I think my aim was right, but my mindset was not.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep it. I realized I wasn't. It's all about intentions and motives. I was doing it for
Mhm.
myself, and that's I think where I was wrong.
Wait, you were doing it for what?
Myself.
Okay.
I'm like, why am I praying? Why am I reading reading scripture? It was more of a personal motives when I really got to do it for others, kind of deal. If that makes sense. I gotta
Okay.
have more love with my intentions, I guess. Care
Okay.
for care for other people more. I gotta, yeah. That's my whole my. That's just like my whole life, I guess. Right now, it's just me, 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 me. You know, work on myself, work on myself. When really, I should be trying to reflect it outwards and
Yeah.
better. So that's kind of where
Because
I'm. My mindset's changing too.
yeah, because love comes from within, not without.
Well, yeah. Just don't get me wrong. You need your input, but
Mm.
I guess yeah. You gotta ask yourself, what's your output? Is your output your, like I said, a circle just going right back into you?
Yeah.
You trying to consume your output yourself? You should be giving others your output. Make a positive. Give other people a good input if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think
So
impact is one of the most important things that we can focus on. It's like, what is the impact we want to make, that we want to leave behind? Granted, we're only here for like less than 100 years. Like, how many lives can we improve during that time? How many? Because that's joy, man. That's
yeah,
fucking joy. Like, we don't feel joy like when we're taking our cold shower. We'll feel our dopamine and whatnot, but like that joy comes from like the lives that we're improving around us, like everything around us. So, I get it, man.
yeah.
All right, got our goals set. That
Sweet, sweet.
concludes episode 13 of 2 Minutes to Life. Right, 13.
Yeah. 13.
See you guys next week.